this episode of The Trend Talk, actor-singer Vadhir Derbez stops by and gives us an unexpected serenata. Also, Eliana Alexander talks to us about her latest acting roles and her new book. And designer Uriel Saenz spills the tea on Paris Fashion Week. All that and more on The Trend Talk.
Welcome to the Trend Talk. Today, we decided we wanted to talk about something serious.
Right.
The culture of privilege. What exactly is the culture of privilege?
Okay, so the privilege or the world of privilege is described in the dictionary as a special right, advantage, or immunity granted or available to a particular person or group. And we've been hearing a lot about that lately, right?
Yes. For example?
For example, rich kids getting into Ivy League colleges through special back doors that you pay millions of dollars for, right?
What is that? Operation Varsity
Blues,
Mm-hmm.
which was very upsetting to a lot of people, especially hardworking kids that really work hard in athletics.
And didn't get that place in college because some mommy paid $500,000 to get their kid in.
Right. I'm so glad that that was exposed. And there's also other forms of privilege. People in high places that don't get in trouble, don't get any kind of punishment for doing shady things or even possibly breaking the law. That's privilege too.
What about being privileged that you don't get beat up by walking in a nice neighborhood?
Right.
If you're the right color.
Or the right sex, because us as women,
that's true.
You know, when you're walking around in a male body, all of a sudden, you know, there's certain things you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about being whistled or you know, you don't have to worry about
accosted, being grabbed,
or anything like that. When you're a woman, you don't have that privilege. You're always, at least I know I feel this way. I'm not sure if you do. You know, you always feel a little vulnerable and kind of on edge when
as you're walking, you always look around like, where would I go if somebody came and did such and such?
Right.
What about the politicians? It really bugs me that they get this great health coverage that we don't get.
Yes.
And if anything happens with our coverage, they still get theirs. And then they get to write off their cars, and then they get, you know, all of these incentives. And yet when it comes to us, it's like, oh, we need more taxes. And then there they go, taxing us.
And don't they get like their salary, a salary for life? Certain politicians get a salary for life. That's privilege. And I don't think that's fair at all. And you know what I think is not fair and boils my blood to the nth degree, and I think it should definitely change? Companies, CEOs that make millions and millions of dollars, but their employees can't make a livable wage.
Well, they say we can't afford to give them $15 an hour.
Yet
you know, it's going to bankrupt us.
Right.
Bankrupt us. But yet they get hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, in annual salary.
Right. Sometimes if they do get fired, they get what they call the golden parachute.
Yes.
Which means that, you know, their life isn't necessarily over. Okay, maybe they don't have that job, which, wow, now they don't have to work, but then they get like millions of dollars because they exited the company.
That's why I was so happy that when Les Moonves was let go because of his sexual misconduct, he had to forfeit his, like, I think it was $300 and something million package.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, a little bit of justice.
So we are going to go to a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to a very interesting guy that's really, really talented, Vadhir Derbez, and I'm so excited because he's going to talk about his new video, Mala, and there's a surprise in that video, but I'm not going to reveal it until we come back from the break.
I did it, and we said, hey, let's make something sexy and really make it sexy, but in a very well taken care way, especially for her and I and everything.
Our next guest started his career at 6 years of age. He started doing commercials and he started doing telenovelas, and now he's all grown up and he is hot. And not just well-known in Mexico, he's well-known here, and you've seen him in some of the movies that we're going to talk about. So welcome, Vadhir, to the Trend Talk.
Gracias, muchas gracias. Qué bonito, señor.
And we seriously feel so honored because you were telling us that you were actually camping. You flew down here or drove down here from the mountains just to talk to us.
Desde la montaña viniste a vernos.
Y con guitarra y todo.
I have brought new technology from the mountain. Or backwards. I came
Pero
for it.
fuiste solito? Did you go by yourself up into the mountains?
Yeah, no, definitely. Me quedé relajar. I was very stressed out because of promo from the movie that we're going to talk about and the new single and everything. And I haven't had like any days for it. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to go and do my thing and just enjoy nature a little bit and disconnect, and it's amazing.
Is camping and being with nature something that you do often, or is this something you're new, or?
I did it a couple of times when I was younger, like when I was 15, and that was in Mexico, like with the school and everything, and I remember loving it, but I forgot about it. And then I recently picked it up again, like 5-6 months ago, and it's the best thing ever. It's so cool.
Relaxing.
I really recommend it, people,
And you definitely need it because, as you mentioned, you are super busy. One of the projects that you're working on or that you worked on is Dulce Familia, which looks like so interesting because it's funny, but it also has deep messages, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Es una crítica social sobre la comida y las adicciones, pero no adicciones de drogas, justamente. Más
comida.
So sugars y ya sabes, como que todas esas cosas que de repente nos pasan y luego todos los procesos a los que nos metemos, tipo para bajar de peso, para entrar en un vestido, para ahorita llegar al summer con un buen cuerpo, ya sabes. Entonces, it's like basically that a little bit.
And we're going to show the clip.
Yes.
Let's watch.
Panquecito con chispas de chocolate. ¿Quieres casarte conmigo? Mira, es un unicornio, como tú, porque eres súper especial.
Sí. Veo que quieres usar una sábana como vestido de novia también.
Tú tienes una promesa conmigo.
Guzman original de París.
Me lo prometiste cuando cumplí 10 años, ma. Bueno, ves que ahí sí te quedaba.
Wow, that movie looks amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I love that you got into this different persona, right? I mean, physically too. So talk to us about that transformation.
Yeah, definitely. I guess people are used to seeing me just like what you're seeing right now, which is like just
Con el
normal.
pelo, and
but
there you
little,
had nothing.
Styled and whatever. And there, I decided to take this like little risk and leave also my ego on the side and say, hey, I'm gonna not only cut my hair and like just lose that, because it's not even like a sexy like bald guy. It's like they leave this part, you know, so it's like I lost my hair and then they made me gain like 32 pounds.
Oh my God.
So it was a lot of things happening there.
I thought it was a bald cap. It was actually they shaved your...
Every day they had to go over with a razor and like cut it down, yeah.
So the movie talks, like you said, societal pressures about fitting in, losing weight, all the pressure that we put on ourselves as an actor.
Yeah.
How do you handle all those pressures?
I don't think I do very well. No, I just kind of keep going. Like I've learned that there are so many difficult times, and sometimes you'll be depressed and you'll go down and you'll just don't know like what to do with your day and life and whatever. But as long as you're not dying, you're gonna keep moving forward, and you gotta be productive and you gotta make the most out of it.
But there is a way that you let a lot of this energy out. That's through your singing.
Oh, definitely. Music is something that's like,
And you have a new single out.
Yes.
Mala.
Yeah, you know about it. Yes.
Shall we take a look?
All right, let's do it.
Let's take a look. Whoa, that was a little racy. That was racy, but it was also amazing because you were in it as well. You guys were both co-stars.
No.
I imagine it.
No,
like,
no, it's like a little cameo. I was like, it was such a big production, and you know the car. That's the part I love the most. On the Rolls Royce with the girl is like with the wind.
I know,
that was an awesome shot.
I know, I loved it.
And
I
you've
had so
gotten
much
like
fun.
over 500,000 views on that.
Yes, that was very quick, so I'm very excited about that. It's really doing well, so I'm just gonna keep pushing it. And of course, I love that people are sharing it and loving it. So
check
anyone
it
who's
out.
seeing it, look at the video, definitely.
On YouTube.
So when I was watching it, you know, it's kind of racy, as we said.
Yes.
Is that part of your alter ego, or why did you decide to? I mean, is that like the Vadhir we don't know
exactly.
or what?
No, so the first songs that I released a year and a half ago, you'll see that they're more on the romantic side, more on the heartbreak side and all that stuff. And this song, this single, Mala, I decided to really take it into a much mature, and we said, hey, let's make something sexy and really make it sexy, but in a very well taken care way, especially for her and I and everything. So if you see the video and if you hear the song, they're both very sexy, but they're like clean sexy. There's no dirty detail, not even in the lyrics. There's nothing that's degrading like the woman or like saying something nasty about it, you know, so it's very clean in a way. And a lot of people have thanked me about that. It's like, I'm glad that you're doing this kind of genre, but in a clean way, because most people in that genre are like very...
Can you take us out with a rendition of Mala?
Of course, I would love that.
Acoustic style.
Yes.
Acoustic?
We got a guitar. All right, I'm down for this.
I want to call it campfire style.
Oh, campfire style.
Oh, that was smart. A great callback.
Hot sizzle, hot sizzle.
Yes, you got it.
All right.
Okay, so let's just play around. Okay.
Wait a minute, before you start, where can we reach you? Where can everybody see you and check in with you?
And everything, my social media and all of it, it's Vadhir Derbez en todo, absolutamente todo, and then Vadhir D en Instagram. You just put it down here. Yeah, it's gonna be easier.
Yes, that's right. It
El
is.
problema es escribir Vadhir. So there it is.
Okay.
All right. Sabes que te miran, pero no te importa, todos te quieren probar y tú atrapas sin intentar a los hombres como un imán. Eres una diosa casi peligrosa, una tentación mortal, nadie te puede controlar, lo que dices es lo que hay. Pero te vas conmigo, directo pa' mi casa. Ahí es que todo pasa, ahí es que todo pasa, ahí es cuando te vuelves mala. Quiero que seas mala, ven, enséñame, muérdame, vuélveme loco otra vez. Que seas mala, si me gustas mala, ven y pégame, cúrame. Para empezar otra vez, que sigan mirándote, que sigan deseándote, porque me encanta que solo contigo yo puedo ser malo también. Oh, oh, oh. Eso, señores. Ah, me puse nervioso.
She believes in family values, and you will see throughout the series how brave she becomes and how she fights.
Eliana Alexander is an award-winning actress and a writer, and her latest role in Perpetual Grace Ltd. has her working opposite Ben Kingsley and also Luis Guzman, who plays her husband. And she's also an author, but we're going to talk more about that later. I just want to welcome Eliana Alexander.
Thank you.
Bienvenida.
Gracias. It's good to be here.
I'm so excited about your role in the epic Perpetual Grace.
Yes, Perpetual Grace Ltd. is amazing because it's Sir Ben Kingsley. We've been warned.
Exactly.
Sir Ben Kingsley, he's been
Exactly.
knighted. It's his first television series.
Wow.
So how lucky am I to get to be a part of that?
Yeah.
It follows James, who is a grifter, and he preys on Pastor Brown, Pa, which is Sir Ben Kingsley, and then he realizes he's a lot more dangerous than he thinks. So it is a wonderful film noir, but it's set up for television noir.
Is it a period piece? Or
Not a
about
period piece, but it's just really stylized.
Right. And I love the fact that they incorporate Latino characters because we need to be in more shows. Talk to us about the plot and how you
And your family.
Luis Guzman
And my family.
comes into play in the show.
Yes, I play Marisol Contreras, who is married to Hector Contreras, played by Luis Guzman, and he is so much fun to work with. He's always cracking up. I mean, you can't keep a straight face, but then we pull it all together. So the whole family is a lot of fun. I want to give a shout out also to Calvin Benuto, who plays Matthias, my son, and Alonso Alvarez, who plays Emil. I play Marisol, very strong woman, very proactive with her family. She believes in family values, and you will see throughout the series how brave she becomes and how how she fights. I can't say too much, but how she fights for her
So
family.
you're not the typical characters that Latinas get, like 3 lines and you're gone.
No, I'm in there. I mean, I'm in there. So I'm really happy about that. And the story is integral. Every scene has a beautiful arc, and the thread throughout the whole scene incorporates all of us, intertwines all of us. So we are in throughout the whole story, and we really support Luis's story.
Right.
And it is a good one.
And I'm glad that you said that it's a brave character, and you've done brave roles in the past. For example, your role in Sinvergüenza, which was so important for our community, and it's still important. Talk to us about that project.
Sinvergüenza was a lot of fun because, one, at first I didn't understand what we were trying to convey, and then when I got the full script, the powerful meaning behind that, as an actor, get to be a part of something that helps people, brings community together, allows families and people to come out of their shell and talk about whatever they need.
Right.
That was powerful.
And the storyline, for people that don't know, is about this family and the mother, which is you, contract AIDS.
Yes.
And you don't know how that happens, and I want to ruin it for people, but it's a lot of taboo things in the Latino community that you never discuss. And that is done in a way to help community address some of these issues.
Some of the issues, yes. My character, Adriana, she contracts HIV. So she doesn't get full-blown AIDS.
Okay, good.
And it teaches you how to stay positive and healthy.
And you're also an author.
Right.
Right. So I wanted to ask you about that. What is your book about? What's the title? And what motivated you to write it?
I've always had an imagination. When I was a kid, I used to write music, used to write poetry, and my first book, The Neighbor, is a thriller, murder mystery. So I started with that one, and it was more of a protection project, which turned out to get a lot of reviews, and all of a sudden it was doing really well. And I have a lot of different ideas, and I sat down to write a sci-fi, completely different genre than a murder mystery. It is a sci-fi, but it's based off of true facts. So you get a lot of history in there, but it's told through a story. The name of my second book is called Tilt Magic 8s, and it follows two teens that inadvertently open up a vortex. So it's about time travel, meeting new worlds, dimensions,
what an
and they
imagination.
evolve, and it teaches them not only how to live without amenities and technology, but to really get in touch with what is the truth. So you see the teens evolve, and it's a beautiful story.
And I'm curious, are some of your characters Latino in the Awesome.
Both, mixed, because I didn't want to be only Latino to bring up Latino and to support Latinos. I mean, that is a given. But I want to mix. I want stories that bring us together, you know, that intertwine us together as opposed to separate us and just be Latino story or an English story.
Yeah, because that's reality.
That is reality.
That's our thing about being in other films that are not Latino. We live in that world too. So you're doing the same thing. You want it to be a realistic world.
And the characters are involved with each other. It's not like over here on this side of the tracks. Not segregated at all. So I really bring everybody together, which is it's a melting pot, which is how we should live, all as one.
And so how can people find out more about when your book is going to be ready to buy the other book? Tell us.
The Neighbor is already out. You can get it on Amazon. And Tilt will be out August 8th because it's Tilt Magic 8s, August 8, 8-8.
Oh, okay.
There's a theme there.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been wonderful.
Thank you for having me, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. And now we are going to be right back with a lifestyle expert and designer. So don't go away, and we'll be right back with Uriel Saenz.
I think we've gone through so much together just in the process of what it is to be a daughter of an LGBT person.
We are excited to have Uriel Saenz with us. He is a Renaissance man, a global platform of fashion and luxury items. He has his U.S. lifestyle platform, and he is into so many wonderful things. So he's going to tell us all about it. Welcome, Uriel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah, we're excited about all this that you're doing.
And you're fresh off of Paris Fashion Week. Your collection was featured there. That is not easy. Not anybody can go to fashion, show off their collection Talk to us about that experience and how were you selected?
So they selected 5 designers, 5 global designers that submitted their work. And like always, I just took a chance and was like, well, let me submit. Got selected and as the ones to watch during Paris Fashion Week this past season. And it was just an incredible, it was a lot. It takes everything out of you, as you can imagine.
Oh,
it's
yes.
like, spiritual, emotional, physical, financial, everything.
So did you have to design the collection you took right before you went, or that was something you already had?
So I had a collection that I designed for spring that I shot at the Louvre. That's how it all kind of started, and then I put it on my Instagram. I have pretty much a few following on Instagram.
Yeah, you have a lot.
So I think I started tagging Paris Fashion Week and all of that, and so they started seeing my work. But I wanted to do something fresh and new. So I did have something fresh.
Well, congratulations. We know that fashion is also an art form, and art forms also have a lot of social messages. So does your collection. Talk to us about that.
Yes. So previously, when I was doing fashion in the past, my collections were all about beauty and making sure that, it was all about, I'm Latino, so it was all about making sure that the woman looked pretty and beautiful, and it was all kind of superficial. And that kind of was, I guess, part of my youth and my immaturity, I think. As I grew older and kind of took on more issues, and then after the election, and a lot of things that have been happening that I stand for now. So, this collection was about domestic violence.
Oh, wow.
And so that was a big...
And how do you convey domestic violence with clothes? Or awareness of it?
See, a lot of it is not even how the piece turns out. It's about the process and where I'm feeling and kind of exercising my emotions around it. So for me, it was really the collection that I did at the Louvre, which was... It was reflections, and it was more about me reflecting. I had just left my last job, and so there was a lot of transition in my life with me, my daughter. A lot of things were happening, and so that gave me a little bit of
inspiration, possibly.
Inspiration, and really for me, it was a vessel to let go of situations and kind of also use it as, because for me, it's always been about how can I help other people, and how can what I do inspire or impact the lives of others. And so that's kind of where I've been taking my collections.
And you're a gay father who has a daughter that you've a single father?
Yeah, I'm a single father.
Yeah. So tell us how that aspect of your life is coloring your work.
Well, I guess being a single, again, just kind of showing my daughter what it is to be a good person, I think, and care for others, and not just...
How old is she now?
She's 21.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Yeah, she is 21. It's fun because I get in the airport and they think I'm like her brother. So that's but awesome. She's 21, and I think we've gone through so much together just in the process of what it is to be a daughter of an LGBT person. And I think we put a lot of pressure into the children of LGBT people to be our champions, and they naturally will, but I think we just talk about it too much.
One word to inspire everyone that, wants to do what you're doing.
I think give, because if you give, you'll always receive.
Perfect.
So just give.
Great message. Thank you so much, Uriel.
Thank you.
We will be right back with a lot more here on The Trend Talk.
Do you guys think that these new coffees that are coming out continuously, like Starbucks always has the unicorn frappe, do you think that's something that should be trendejo or trendísimo?
Ya llegó el carnaval, mucha gente nos visita. Desde lejos.
And now it's time for our Trendejo Trendísimo segment. Yay. So, Bel, would you ever drink coffee made from fermented poop?
No.
Well, apparently it's super trendy. And we asked that exact same question to Carlos Ponce and some other actors from Jugar con Fuego in our Trendejo Trendísimo segment. Let's see what they had to say.
Thank you so much for being a guest on The Trend Talk. It's a pleasure having you guys here. So I'm just going to ask you a series of questions, and basically the first one is, because everything is based on coffee in this series, I'm going to go to the coffee, because who doesn't love coffee? Basically, do you guys think that these new coffees that are coming out continuously, like Starbucks always has the unicorn frappe. Do you think that's something that should be trendejo or trendísimo?
I love coffee. Otra manera de ganar plata.
No puedo opinar, no me gusta el café. No lo he probado en ninguna parte.
Hay muchas opciones.
Conspicuous consumption.
But I like people having options.
That's
Options for everyone.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
but not a 1,000,000.5, you know. I want a simple menu.
You want a simple menu, right? And then lastly, so there's the most expensive coffee in the world that comes from Indonesia. I don't know if you guys heard of that.
I saw it.
And it basically comes from a feline. They give it a coffee bean, and as soon as they digest it and poops it out, they clean it up, they process it, and it's supposed to be super savory.
It's fermented.
It's fermented.
I've seen it.
Yeah, and do you think that's trendejo or trendísimo?
No poop in my coffee.
No poop.
I think it's cool.
You think it's cool?
I'd love to try it, to be honest with you.
No way.
You have no idea. The fermentation process.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for being a guest on our show. It was amazing.
Okay, I don't know, but I'll stick to Americano.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, we've reached the end of the Trend Talk. We want to thank all of our guests for sharing a bit of their world.
And also remember to follow us on social media at The Trend Talk Show, because if it's trending, we're talking!
Ya llegó el carnaval, todo es fiesta y alegría.
Con cultura, estos días llenos de algarabía.